Good evening and welcome to the Cannon Medical Arena for tonight's SLB playoff quarterfinal live on YouTube. I'm Mike Tuck, and we've got a big-time matchup on our hands as the Braun Sheffield Hatters take on the Durham Palatinates in the first round of the playoffs. It's second versus seventh, and the road to the championship is officially here. The Hatters have been flying, winning 5 straight, finishing the regular season 17-3, and they haven't dropped a game since March. The last time these two teams met, Hatters with a commanding 93-50 win, with both Singleton and Collier posting double-doubles, 19 big points for Taya. Statement game for Sheffield. Durham, meanwhile, coming in as the underdogs. Young team with nothing to lose. Shanique Lucas leads the way for Durham, 17 points per game. Marina Fernandez, their playmaker. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. If they can shake off recent form, only 2 wins in their last 10. They'll be trying to make this one look a bit scrappy. Elsewhere in the league, Oakland's beat Leicester tonight, 74-62. Oakland's will advance. Newcastle will face the Rebels at 7:30. We'll keep an eye on that one. And tomorrow, Caledonia welcome Manchester. But here in Sheffield, it's all eyes on this one. The players warming up, getting ready to go. Energy's building. Playoff basketball officially here. I'm thrilled to be joined by Hatters legend, former star, and longtime friend of the show, Naomi Campbell. Naomi, great to see you.
Good evening.
What are your feelings ahead of this one?
I'm excited. I mean, this is what you play all season for. It's that playoff basketball. Win or go home, essentially. If you want your season to continue, you have to go out there and give it everything, and that's normally what we see. And Durham are never an exception to that. So like you said, they are the underdogs, but I know they'll go out there tonight and not go down without a fight, which will be great to see. And as you just said, Hatters have been on good form in terms of results, but they know if they are going to advance, they've got big games ahead, so they'll be looking to put out a strong performance tonight.
They definitely will. Durham looking a little bit short-handed tonight. A few players injured and not in the building. Obviously, Will Soulsby not in the building tonight. Katie Bennett injured. Sophie Klassen injured. So bit of a short-handed bench for Durham tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've been riddled by injuries this season, and Harriet Oxwell-Soulsby in particular is a big miss for them, particularly against the Hatters side, who have got several players who like to crash the boards. They are definitely going to be undersized out there on the floor tonight, and with a short rotation, which in playoff basketball at this point in the season can be very demanding. So, some of them are going to have to play big minutes out there tonight.
They definitely will. Quick look at our starting lineup for the Hatters. Same starting lineup as last week. No surprise that Coach Vanessa Ellis went with those same starters.
No, and they have been playing well as a 5 and gelling and high tempo out there to begin with, set the standard for the game, and I know they'll be looking to get out and run early. As we've said, particularly with the short rotation for Durham, they'll not want to let them have it easy defensively, so I think it will be a fast-paced game.
Well, here we go. It's second versus seventh, SLB playoff quarterfinal. Hatters come out early. Shauna Harrison with the shot. She starts it off with a 3 with a bang.
That's what you want. Confidence straight away, hitting that first shot of the night.
Great deflection there from Singleton off Durham. Ball will remain in Hatters' possession. Ball's into Crisper. Easy layup for Nina Crisper down the middle.
Another 2 on the board for the Hatters.
Hatters coming out with that full court pressure straight away, letting them know they're there.
Lucas to Fernandez. Harrison with the steal. Gandini on the break and a left-hand layup, and it goes in.
And there's that fast break that they'll be looking for. But defensively, Hatters are going to want to keep the ball out of this lady's hand. Fernandez, really confident if you let her get into the key. She has a whole wealth of moves.
Wells will take her shot from 3. It won't go. Singleton comes down with the rebound. And Hatters again out on the break. Swings it to Harrison. Not able to find the rim on that one. But very fast play from both teams so far. Fernandez takes her shot at a 3. It won't go. Nina Crisper pushing the break. Georgia Gale handles it. Harrison from the baseline. Again, no good. Offensive rebound from Singleton. Jump ball situation. Pretty fast pace so far.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching a tennis match, not a basketball match. But we called it. Durham are a quick team as well, so that would be their style of basketball if they had more of a rotation out there. So I'm not sure they'll be looking to play any slow basketball out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it can always be a trouble when you try and play a high-tempo, fast-paced game. You need a lot of bodies to maintain, don't get fatigued. But now we see Wells, end of the clock situation. She's going to have to throw it up. Catches rim, but doesn't go in. Georgia Gale all the way up to Gandini.
Lucas did a good job there to get back and get a hand on that, just to prevent that easy 2 on the fast break.
Well, Hatters average over 20 points in fast break transition points per game, so always looking to play that fast pace, get the ball out, quick and easy points.
Yeah, and they're an unselfish team, so they will look for each other on that break to try and get it up the court.
Singleton inside, takes some time, not good. Crisper with the rebound, she won't find the net. Hatters will maintain possession here, 6 seconds on the clock.
An undersized Durham there doing a really good job forcing them into tough shots.
Speaking to Lee Davey before the game, he said he wanted to match their physicality and play a physical game, try and knock them out of their rhythm. Singleton again. Good effort from her there, not able to touch the rim. It'll be a shot clock violation. And Hatters, although they didn't complete on that possession, 7-0 lead to start this one.
And that's exactly what Durham needs. They've not put any points on the board themselves yet, so getting those defensive stops crucial until they get into their own rhythm.
Wells to Brault, over to Fernandez. She'll take her time on the wing. Chuck Wu Itu will come in with a left-hand layup, and it will go. Georgia Gale pressured in the backcourt. It'll be a foul from Wells, the 26-year-old Canadian. See both teams pressuring full court early, not giving anything up easy.
No, and it would be quite easy for Durham to have gone, right, we've got a 6-man rotation, let's get back in half court, but they are making sure Hatters are under pressure, even bringing the ball up there. And look what it's created, it forced them into a turnover.
Can definitely create that chaotic kind of system and knock players out of their rhythm, definitely. So good example of that on that possession as Durham bring the ball back down. Wells will handle it at the top. Kicks it to Brault.
Bodies on the floor there.
Brault tries to stand up with it. She'll be called for the walk, the traveling call there. As Isabel Wood will come in for Wells. Bit of an adjustment on defense for Durham.
There we see Fernandez will be playing point for them offensively and guarding Singleton defensively, doing what she needs to do for her team out there tonight.
Gale kicks it to Harrison. Harrison to Crisper. She'll take the drive. Nice little dish pass into Singleton. Singleton takes her time. Big finish down low. Fernandez. She'll hand off to Wood. Wood looking for an option. Finds Fernandez. And a foul's called on Nina Crisper.
Yeah, great look at that one here.
Close and personal. Nina didn't really agree with that one, as we see a few new faces in. Zaya Black in.
Nyjah Collier.
Nyjah Collier had 12 points, 12 rebounds last time these two teams faced off. What a pickup she's been for the Hatters this season.
Yeah, and she's done a really good job, particularly while Washington's been out, in terms of giving Singleton that little bit of respite and still going on there and crashing the boards despite being a little undersized. So that's been really good to see.
Gale kicks it to Black. Black on the drive. She'll kick it to Crisper at the top. Crisper takes her time out to Gandini, and Black from the corner won't go. Durham holds down the rebound. And again, off to the races as Brault slows it down, getting into a half-court set. She'll take her drive to the basket. It won't go.
Crisper doing a good job there just to keep between her and the basket, making that into a tough shot for her.
9-2, just under 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, it's the quarterfinals Super League basketball action here on YouTube at the Cannon Medical Arena.
Durham are doing a really nice job here with that full court press. I mean, unfortunately they've committed a couple of fouls. If they could just keep their hands out, Hatters are finding themselves in a little bit of difficulty.
Nothing down the sideline, get in front of it.
Well, Wells back in for Chukwuitu on Durham. Good hands from Wells. They'll pick up a steal there. Isabel Wood over to Brault. She'll take a drive down. Another tough miss there. Gandini takes off for the Hatters. Swings it to Black. Up to Gale. Looking inside. Gandini trying to find that mismatch inside.
Fading away there for Crisper. Needs to go into the contact, not away from it. Brault pulling up in transition, doesn't quite make it.
This Durham team's got the green light. As Gandini takes it down. Good block from Wells. She kicks it up to Brault, or Lucas, sorry. Over to Brault, and she'll pick up a hard foul on the baseline. She collects herself.
Great fast break there from Durham. And more subs in for the Hatters. We've got Walker and Washington checking in for the first time here tonight.
Good to see Maddie Washington back in action. Who's out with that heel injury for a portion of the season. We're back just in time for playoffs.
Yeah, she's definitely a big player for the Hatters, both in terms of presence inside, but also as a natural leader. She's one of the more experienced players and does a really good job, particularly perhaps in playoff basketball, of keeping the unit together. We've got Brault here, converting on both of her free throws.
Georgia Gale will bring it up for the Hatters. Swings it to Collier. Over to Walker. Walker wide open from three. She'll let it fly. Not able to find the rim on that one.
And that's a good open look there for Hatters in transition. They moved the ball well and found the open player after the double team at the halfway line, but unfortunately unable to convert.
Yeah, I completely agree. You have to take those open shots when they're given to you. Oh, Lucas, beautiful play. Kicks it out to Brault. Again, Brault, she's aggressive on the play. Not able to finish over the outstretched arms of Washington. And Walker will swing it back up to Georgia Gale. Gale on the drive. Picked off by Lucas. Lucas, lightning quick down the court. She'll finish that one for 2. Lucas averaging 3.3 steals a game. She leads Durham in that category. Walker, good little give and go from the Hatters there into Walker. 11-6 here for the Hatters.
And that's the sacrifice you make when you're having that full court pressure, making sure you then match up in the half court.
Isabel Wood will throw it off the leg of Zaya Black. As both teams looking to make some changes, but also timeout called here. And pretty exciting game so far. Some good efforts from both sides. Durham took a little bit of time to get their shot act together, but seeing some positive moments from them so far.
Yeah, I think Lee Davis will be happy with that. I mean, you're 11-6. You've kept Hatters to 11 points in the first 7 minutes of the ball game, and managed to get some points on the board, be aggressive, force them into some turnovers. Exactly what he set out to do with his team. So ultimately, he's forced Hatters into a timeout, and that's an advantage for him when he might want to use his tactfully later on in the game for a little bit of respite for his players, just to get some water on board. But yes, I think Durham have done a really good job of being aggressive and being disruptive out there, and it's just going to be a case of whether they can maintain that for the full 40.
Well, Hatters winning the rebound war right now, 10-6. Hatters winning the assist war, 4-2, and pretty much even around the board. But Hatters with 4 turnovers early, Durham with 3.
And that's the difference. Durham aren't getting many offensive rebounds, so when they're not making their first shots, they're not really getting second looks. Hatters have had a few of those, so that's where we are seeing Durham conserving a little energy, perhaps thinking we're not going to win this battle, and making sure they're set up defensively each time.
Well, Hatters with a 5-point lead here, 3.5 minutes to go in the first. As Wells takes it, kicks it out for Durham. Fernandez, good job of keeping on hold of it. Wells will have to throw that one up. The buzzer beater goes in.
Yeah, and Nigel Collier did a really good job of getting over there and help defense, but unfortunately didn't manage to pick off the steal from the pass, and then Wells converted on a really tough jump shot over her. And there we have another turnover. And Lucas, work rate. You just can't knock a work rate.
And all of a sudden, it's a 1-point game. Beautiful play from Durham here. Not going to have the Hatters a little bit out of their rhythm. A lot of pressure. Georgia Gale will bring it up the wing. Coming off the screen and roll. Collier open at the top. She'll let one fly from 3. It won't go. Big rebound from Fernandez. She's just not able to keep it in possession. It'll go off the leg of Wells. So we see Sadie Russell, Taya Singleton coming into the game. Maddie Washington, Destiny Walker will go take a seat. Hatters shooting percentages just a little bit down, only 35% overall. They're only shooting 25% from 3. They only hit 1 3 so far. As Gandini is called for the walk, but just looks like Hatters just a little bit out of rhythm so far.
Yeah, I think Coach Ellis won't be happy with some of the endeavour out there, if I'm honest. Like we've seen some turnovers, and then on that last one we saw Durham players beating them back down the floor, and you know what it's like. If you throw the ball away, you're busting the gut to get back. And Fernandez there making that 3, and they've got the first lead of the ball game.
Beautiful shot there from Fernandez. They'll be looking to her for some offensive production tonight. She averages 11.8 points per game. Taya Singleton will take it inside. Big physical play inside. to stop the Hatters' drought.
Yeah, and that's what Sheffield need to do. Like you said, they've not converted on some of their perimeter looks, but they've got the advantage inside. They're, particularly with Singleton or Washington in the post, just relax, take your time, get the ball in, and let them do what they do.
Wells, she drives it in. Good defense there from Collier. As Collier takes it out on the break. Good kick out to the corner. Good pass to Gale, but that'll be an offensive call on Collier, and just a little bit too much ahead of steam on that one.
Yeah, really good push out from her there, and correct decision. Just needed to slow herself down a little bit before meeting Lucas, who was ready and waiting.
Well, Brault will go back into the game for Durham. Wells will take a seat here as Fernandez brings the ball up the floor. We're tied here, 13 apiece. Just over a minute left to go in the first quarter. Chakuitu somehow keeps it in. Lucas will take the three. Won't find the rim on that one, but will maintain possession. Wood here kicks it out. Fernandez crosses over at the top. Tries to create something. Not able to hit the step back. But the defensive pressure from Durham has been incredible so far this game.
Yeah, and there we saw they created that extra opportunity for themselves there for simply hustling to that loose ball quicker than Hatters team there.
It's been interesting to watch the early goings of this one. Durham really pushing the pace. Sheffield known as a team that can push the pace, but it's almost like they're beating them at their own game at the moment.
Yeah, and actually recognising that they might have to be the ones who just say, right, come on, let's get set up. Let's not just go exchange kind of miss shot for miss shot, which is what we've had at the minute, back and forth.
Great high-low pass from Crisper there inside. Kaya Singleton will be fouled with a trip to the line. I think, like you said, you got to use what you have advantage in, and Taya Singleton can be that kind of player for you tonight. If you're the Hatters, she's got that size, athleticism inside, that physicality that would be hard to match for Durham.
Yeah, because short of them going to double her, there's not going to be a player on their team who's going to be able to stop her in the post. And then if they start switching it up and doubling, then you're going to leave players open. So, although she'll not be happy with that first missed free throw.
She won't. But last time out, 19 points, 10 rebounds for Taya. So she will have confidence against a team like Durham. As Lucas brings it up the floor for Durham. Great pass down low. Chakuitu not able to get her hands on it. We got 19 seconds on the clock here. As Gandini looks to inbounds. Inbounds to Russell. Back to Gandini. Big pressure from Durham. Hatters will have to get it over. Crisper able to hold on to it. 9 seconds left on the clock. Gandini will take a three. Just not able to go. 3 seconds on the clock. Fernandez brings it over half. She'll throw that one up. It won't go. And a great first quarter from first teams. Both teams. Hatters with a 1 point advantage as we head into the second quarter. And obviously, like we talked about, a high tempo style of game, a high pace kind of game. Durham really looking to push out on the break and match the Hatters' energy, but it's almost to me it almost looks like Hatters are trying to have to match Durham's energy at the moment, the way they're playing on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, definitely. This is playoff basketball, isn't it? Durham, no, there's nothing to lose out there, and yes, okay, 40 minutes. They're going to be tired tomorrow, but it won't matter if they advance.
Well, 14-3 here. Your leading scorers for Durham: 4 points for Lucas, 3 points for Fernandez, and for the Hatters, Taya Singleton on 5. Shauna Harrison with that 3. She started to hit the game, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players from the Hatters already on the scoreboard, and 5 players from Durham on the scoreboard. So balanced scoring from both teams. A lot of unselfish play out there. But again, I think both teams won't be happy. Durham with 5 turnovers. Sheffield with 7, so taking care of the ball is definitely going to be a talking point in the huddles right now.
Yeah, certainly. If you're talking 7 turnovers in a quarter, you've got 28 by the end of the game, which you can't expect to win many ball games, turning the ball over 28 times. This is what I was saying. I think there'll be lots Coach Ellis isn't overly happy with out there at the minute. And least of all, kind of the scoring element for the Hatters. We're used to them putting up bigger numbers than that in a quarter, but some of that has come from how they're playing defence. They're not getting themselves easy layups, and their turnovers have led to 9 of Durham's 13 points, and that right there makes a difference. If it wasn't for those turnovers, you're making Durham have to work harder for their looks.
Yeah, definitely. Majority of the points coming from the turnovers, and then going down fast break points. Both teams not shooting the ball great from behind the three-point line. Both teams only hitting 1 3-point shot each. 1 for 6 for the Hatters, 1 for 7 for Durham. So hopefully both teams able to find more rhythm here in the second quarter as we get going here. It's the SLB quarterfinals here at the Cannon Medical Arena. The referees are taking a quick look at the shot clock, readjusting that.
Yeah, a little bit of discrepancy there between the shot clock and the game clock.
If you're just tuning in now, Oakland's versus Leicester earlier today. Oakland's are through to the semifinal. Sheffield and Durham currently live on your screens right now. Newcastle and Essex will be tipping off at 7:30 tonight in about 8 minutes. And then Caledonia, Manchester tomorrow afternoon. Crisper kicks it to the corner to Harrison. Walker, nice little one dribble pull up, and that'll roll in.
Good catch there by Crisper. Right look, trying to get those mismatches within the post, and what happens is 2 Durham players go and drop in on that, and you get that nice open look in rotation.
Brault will find Wood. Brault, again, great drive. Nice little finish off the glass for Brault.
Durham has done a really good job of turning the corner, and each time it's a different player, it seems. So Hatters are going to have to kind of work a little bit harder defensively to keep them out of that paint.
Lucas will bring it up for Durham. Just off the hands of Brault there. Another unforced turnover. Coach Lee Davey not happy with that one. And again, this high-tempo style of basketball continues here into this second quarter. Good pressure from Brault, but the gamble creates a little bit of a fast break operation for the Hatters, and Gandini will knock down the 3, only the second 3 of the evening.
Good decision there from Gandini. She was looking to get it into the post, but her player sagging off to make that pass difficult. And there we have a great read from Durham, coming together for the handoff, recognising Hatters are overplaying it and just cutting back door for an open layup.
That bumps Brault up to 6 points. Shauna Harrison, big 3 from the top. Her second 3 of the evening bumps her up to 6 points personal. Fernandez to Wood. Wood on the drive. She'll turn it over. Singleton will kick it up to Crisper. Crisper on the drive. Nice little dish pass into Gandini. Not able to fall. Ball will go off Durham. Maintaining Sheffield's possession, as Wells subs in and Georgia Gale subs in for the Hatters. 22-17 here in the second quarter. Sheffield 8 points this quarter so far. Durham only 4. As Gandini swings it to Harrison. Harrison inside to Crisper, to Gale, to Gandini. Not able to fall. Great job on the boards from Crisper. Swings it to Harrison. Another 3 from the top. It won't go. As Fernandez pulls down the rebound, gets out on the break. She'll swing it to Wells. Wells to Brault. She'll take a 3. It won't go. Georgia Gale out on the break. She'll take her time, pull it back. Singleton looking to get physical inside. Not able to drop. But again, good job from the Hatters trying to get that ball inside, get the points in the paint.
Yeah, Gail there, making the decision to hold it up. She had people open on the perimeter for a three, but said, let me hold up, wait for my big to trail behind me, and see if we can get a look at the rim again.
Well, lots of substitutions here this evening. Both teams trying to play high tempo, keep fresh bodies rolling in, especially for this Durham team who's playing extremely short-handed. 3 of their key players out this evening. So switching up the game plan and looking to play that high-tempo, fast-style basketball.
Yeah, not surprising that they're having heavy rotation, and no for Hatters really. They've had a tough schedule to finish off the season, and they'll be looking to maintain some of their bodies if they're hoping to advance through these playoffs.
Gale into Collier. Collier slips out of Collier's hands, but comes off of a Durham player. And again, no time wasted for either of these teams. They are looking to score, get shots up quickly as possible. Gale takes it out. She'll kick it up to Gandini. Gandini swings it to Harrison. Back into the corner for Gale. Harrison over the top pass to Collier. And again, what seems to be working is for the Hatters is trying to get the ball inside and take advantage.
Yeah, that high-low action. It seems to be getting them those looks, and Durham don't really have many options then in terms of, unless they're able to get a hand and break up the pass, they are then being forced into fouling and sending the Hatters to the line.
Well, that'll be Shanique Lucas's second foul of the evening. She obviously leads the team in scoring, over 17 points per game, so she'll have to be wary that she doesn't pick up her third here in the second quarter. So Nigel Collier knocks down both free throws. Bumps her up to 2 points. And a timeout called here from Durham. Coach Lee Davey just trying to have a talk before things get out of hand here. Great run from the Hatters.
Yeah, I think, and not wanting to see that lead extend into halftime. I think they'll be wanting to keep that gap as close as possible going into the second half, and as much as anything, give his players a little bit of a breather, chance to regroup and focus, because you know it's like when you get tired, those shots start to miss, and that endeavour gets a little bit harder out there on the floor.
Well, 12 points for the Hatters this quarter so far, only 4 for Durham. What would you like to see more from Durham to get their offense going?
I think what they have been doing is, like I say, turning the corner. I think when they've struggled is when they've settled for the perimeter looks, and I can understand why they are settling for those perimeter looks, but ultimately they've had more joy when they've been attacking and getting to the rim. So hopefully getting some of that handoff action, forcing Hatters to make decisions defensively like we saw in the last one, and being aggressive, I think, has been where most of their success has fallen, really.
A 9-point lead for the Hatters with just under 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. It's the SLB quarterfinals here. Winners will advance to the semifinal. Oakland's Wolves, only team to advance so far. Obviously, we've got this game, and then the Newcastle Eagles and Essex Rebels is tipping off right now. And then we'll find out who's through tomorrow as Caledonia take on Manchester. But here it's Camden Medical Arena as Durham is called for an offensive foul. I believe it's on Wells. That will be her second offensive foul called on the screen there.
Yeah, and they're the frustrating ones, really, particularly with Davis not wanting any of his players to get into foul trouble in this game. Any that you do give up, you want to make sure they're worth it.
Gandini will shoot, and she's wide open. Big shot from Emma Gandini.
Yeah, Hatters there just making that extra pass once again to find the open player.
That'll be her second three of the night, as Hatters finding a bit more rhythm from behind the arc here. Wells will drive it in, kick it to Fernandez. Fernandez step back three. Not able to get it to go, but ball will bounce off Gandini's hands. Only 0.7 seconds left on the clock, so will have to be a catch and shoot situation here from Durham.
Yeah, Singleton doing a really good job to get an initial deflection on Fernandez's shot there.
Ball will go into Brault. She'll just have to throw it up. It won't go. And shot clock violation is called. Possession back to the Hatters. Ball into Gale. Over to Harrison. And Wells.
Yeah, that's her
Third foul. You know, that's not what you want to see from Wells. Obviously, she's a huge player for them tonight. She'll have to go take a rest there. Just a little bit too physical on the play.
Yeah, that was an easy one for the refs there, but unfortunately that'll probably mean we don't see her now until the second half of the ball game.
Hatters into Collier. She'll kick it to Gandini. Two in a row from Emma Gandini. She's heating up.
Yeah, when she's playing with confidence, she's such a threat. I mean, defensively, her work rate, you can never question. She's probably one of the smallest players to get number of rebounds this season, but she can also shoot the ball really well.
She certainly can. Gandini's mother and grandmother over visiting from Australia. Georgia Gale from the top. It won't go. As Wood comes down with the rebounds. Durham pushing on the break. Brault, beautiful little running jumper there off the glass and in.
Yeah, great finish there from her.
Georgia drives, up it goes.
Georgia looking to respond at the other end.
Georgia Gale not able to find the basket on that one. She's yet to score tonight as of yet. As we get the ball in, Durham. Lucas will advance. Kicks the corner to Wood. Wood will take the three. No good. Singleton up to Black. Almost turned it over there. Kick ball from Chukwuitu.
And again, Durham's pressure there, not quite resulting in the turnover, but making it harder for Hatters to break away on that fast break they're looking for.
Kick ball will reset the clock. Black will inbound to Georgia. Aggressive defense continues from this Durham team. Singleton inside. Great take from her on the step through.
Yes, as we've said, I've spoken about already tonight, they're going to really struggle to stop that defensively. But what they are going to do is they're going to push the ball and look to be aggressive still offensively.
Fernandez will drive it in for Durham. Wide open in the lane. Oh, just pops out. Georgia Gale will pick up the rebound. She comes down the wing. Double team. She'll swing it up to Harrison. Harrison swings to Black. Black inside to Singleton. Singleton again, just taking her time in the post.
Yeah, excellent footwork there to take her up and under the other side of the basket.
Isabel Wood kicks it up to Fernandez. Fernandez to Lucas. Chukwuitu in the corner. She sizes up Singleton. Kicks it out to Wood. Up to Fernandez. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Brault. It won't go. Quick timeout here from Durham. This looks like fatigue is kind of setting in from Durham. Coach Lee Davey giving them a little bit of a rest.
Yeah.
As the Hatters break this one open, 17-point lead here in the second quarter. Much different story than the first quarter.
No, definitely. And we thought that might happen. I mean, we've still got Durham here in their full court press, and we've seen Wells having to take a break, so that leaves him with no rotation options for the last few minutes of this half here. And Hatters have had some more joy on the perimeter, as well as getting out on their fast break and playing a little bit more smart offensively, and actually looking for the mismatches inside, just taking a deep breath, not taking the first option necessarily, knowing that they can get a better one after a couple of passes, which is really good to see, that unselfish team basketball that we're used to with Hatters.
Definitely see them kind of slowing down and taking more time, picking away at the offense. I mean, 22 points in that quarter already, so much better job of just playing chess, not checkers, really.
Playing quick but not forcing things.
If you're Durham here, you've been full court pressing the whole game, and obviously you only have so much to give on either side of the ball, right? Only 6 points on offense. At what point do you kind of call off the dogs and focus more on offense?
Yeah, and it's not really Durham's style of play. That's the difficulty. They are an aggressive, like denying on the perimeter type defense. And again, you can see they're coming out here in that full court press. And perhaps if it was a league game, I might think they'd pull it off. But playoff basketball, they know.
Beautiful play from Braun there. Able to get her feet set as Georgia Gale smiles that one off, walks away. Offensive foul.
And that's what they're prepared to do. They're just out there putting their bodies on the line. And it's paid off at times. So don't get me wrong, we've seen gambles where it's not worked, but they have nothing to lose here.
Braun. Aggressive take inside. I'll tell you what, Eliza Brault's come to play today. She's just putting her, throwing her body around, sacrificing, hustle plays. Really intense style of play from her.
Yeah, just again taking those risks. I mean, Washington had firm hold of that ball then, but if she'd got the rebound and just relaxed, and she could have got an easy steal under that basket, she was going to go for it, and I think that's real credit to her. She's going to walk away from this game knowing she's given it her all. So, Washington getting the opportunity for a bonus 2 here.
Washington, the 27-year-old American, will knock down her first free throw. Her second season here with the Hatters. She's averaging 9 points per game, 6 rebounds. She'll go 2 for 2 from the line. See, Lucas brings the ball up for Durham. Kicks it to the corner to Brault. She'll handle it at the top. Looking for an option. On the drive, Collier will be called for the foul.
Yeah, it's nice to see Durham playing patient basketball offensively there as well. She just kept her dribble live. She had the players cutting, looking, and there wasn't an easy option there. Wanting to keep possession of the basketball, not force anything, and then took it herself and managed to draw a foul.
Relatively quiet night from Lucas so far. You have, the leading scorer, 17 points per game, but Brault takes it in. She'll be called for the foul. And again, just no give up in this Durham team. Hatters continue to build this lead, but there's still some fight left in them.
Yeah, not going away, not giving up, knowing that if they can just chip away after the halftime break and with another lease of life, they can cut that gap even further.
19-point lead for the Hatters. They go across to Newcastle. The Rebels are up 15-11 versus the Eagles. Obviously, Oakland's taken down the win earlier today. Caledonia, Manchester tomorrow, so an exciting semifinal will be lined up by the end of this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of teams in the league this year who can take some big results here in the playoffs, so it'll be exciting to see.
Black will drive it in. Georgia Gale from the logo. It won't go. Great rebound from Sadie Russell. She looks inside to Maddie Washington, who takes her time. Nice little turnaround jump shot. That's a classic move there from Washington.
Yeah, love to see it, and that's really good for her. As we said earlier, getting back into the rotation here for Hatters, having been out for a while with injury, and the teammates just knowing to trust her again in terms of looking for her inside, knowing she's got that in her locker.
Walker will sub in for Gale. Sadie Russell will take it out for the Hatters. 20-point lead here for the Hatters in the second quarter. Walker into Collier. Collier, aggressive move inside, big finish.
Yeah, nice little fake there. Made the defender just think, is she going to take it herself or is she going to pass it off? Meaning she can get that advantage going to the rim.
Fernandez keeps the ball live on the wing. Spins, kicks, Brault with the three, and it'll go in.
Yeah, there we go. She's kept shooting. She's not made many here tonight from the perimeter, but she knows she can, so it's good to see her still putting it up. And there we have Hatters forced potentially into another turnover, and they're the ones they don't want to be giving away. They weren't under that much pressure there, but Durham getting another possession back.
Durham looking to chip away at this lead. Chukwuitu inside, not able to go. Big rebound from Nija. The full court pass to Walker. She's not able to keep a handle on it. Lucas will come up with it. She's pushing the other end. Good kick out to Fernandez. Not able to connect on the three, and ball will come off of Chukwuitu and back to the Hatters. Hatters will maintain that 19-point lead with under a minute to go here. A little bit of a buffer and some insurance as they go into the second half.
Yeah, I think more of what Hatters would have expected in terms of a scoreline, but still we'll have things to talk about in the locker room at half-time, I would imagine.
15 seconds left on the shot clock here. Black on the drive. She'll take it for the left-hand layup. Not able to go. Maddie Washington comes down with the rebound. She's fouled. As both teams kind of huddle up here. 35 seconds left on the clock in the quarter. Maddie Washington will go to the line and shoot two. That'll be Chukwuitu's second foul of the evening.
Yeah, considering how Durham have played, there's only Wells who's really in any kind of trouble, so that bodes well for Durham in the second half. They're all going to get to go out there and play. Washington there, unable to convert on the first.
Oh. Washington on 4 points tonight so far. Make that 5. 35 seconds left on the clock here. Lucas will bring the ball up for Durham. She drives, looking for an option. Wood is there. Good save, but a huge block from Collier. Swings it to the corner for Fernandez. She's on the drive, kicks it out to Wood, into the corner. Chukwuitu, not there. She gets her own rebound. Brault, catch and shoot situation. Collier comes down with the rebound. She's looking for an option. 4 seconds left on the clock. Russell's going to have to let it go. And it doesn't fall, but what a second quarter from the Hatters. Obviously 43-23, 20-point lead for the Hatters, and just a complete turnaround from that first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we suspected it would happen. I think, as we said, Durham's physicality and aggression, perhaps Hatters saw what we saw in terms of low numbers for Durham. We just came out a little bit complacent, and then were knocked out of their rhythm, had to rely on some outside shots, which they didn't actually have to rely on, and once they'd relaxed and recognised that, they were absolutely fine. So I think it'll just be a case of making sure in the second half they continue to play their game of basketball, not letting Durham dictate.
Completely agree. Taya Singleton on 11, Emma Gandini on 11 for Durham. Eliza Balt, 12 points. Complete turnaround for the Hatters. We've got lots more action coming up, but we'll take a quick look at the stats. Anything that stands out to you particularly there, Naomi?
Well, Hatters have done a better job of getting themselves to the line. I think, well, like we said, once they've stopped relying on that perimeter look, getting 8 points there from the free throw line in that quarter. Shooting percentages, obviously, in terms of 3 points, a little bit down on what we normally see from the Hatters, but we've spoken about that already, and I think they're winning on the boards as we expected. They're playing unselfish basketball, so their assists are up. All those stats are kind of leading to what we've been talking about and seeing, really. Durham struggling a little bit more. I think Hatters won't be happy with how many looks they have given them, particularly open looks on the perimeter. Durham haven't managed to convert on many, which is why the scoreline is the way it is. But I certainly know if some of those start dropping early in the second quarter, they've got a chance to narrow that gap again.
Well, one thing both coaches won't be happy with is the turnovers. Hatters with 10, Durham with 11, but Hatters really taking advantage. 17 points from those turnovers. Just doing a good job of getting out on the break and creating stuff for themselves. But some really good action here in the first half. We're going to take a quick break and come back to you with second half action here at the Cannon Medical Arena. Stay tuned. We'll see you in a few. Welcome back to Sheffield, here to the Cannon Medical Arena, as the Braun Sheffield Hatters take on Durham Palatinates in the SLB playoff quarterfinals here. The winner of this one will go on to play either Newcastle, or if Essex wins, we'll play the winner of tomorrow's match, Caledonia versus Manchester. Quick look at that Newcastle game. Eagles currently leading 37-35 midway through the second period, but we're back here in the Cannon Medical Arena. The Hatters with a 20-point lead that was mainly built up in that second quarter, joined by Naomi Campbell. Naomi, what a great second quarter from the Hatters.
Yeah, really big one from Hatters. They just settled into their style of basketball, came out, looked after the basketball a little more than they had in the first in terms of turnovers, and we can see straight away here they've looked for that high-low inside and drawn the foul and got that bonus look at the line here for Crisper.
Yeah, great start to the half if you're the Hatters. An and one play there for Crisper. That knocks her up to 5 points personal, as Durham will advance the ball over half. Lucas on the drive. Quick take, not able to finish. Georgia Gale scanning the floor. She passes it to Singleton. Singleton inside, but it's a charging call. Good aggressive play from the Hatters there, but a little bit too physical on the inside. Good take from Eliza Brault.
I think I'd want VAR on that one then.
Something we can look at for next season.
Yeah, put that suggestion forward, please.
Yeah, Fernandez will pass it off to Wood. She'll lose handle of it. Knocked out of the bounds. Possession will stay with Durham. Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock on this one.
But that's what I like to see. I think in the first quarter we saw Durham putting their body on the line, hitting the deck, and Hatters not matching that really. And there the Hatters had 2 players on the ground. Although the possession didn't stay with them, they certainly made that effort.
Brault will let it go from 3. It won't fall. Crisper will come up with the rebound. She's off to the races. Shauna Harrison will go inside. Big bump for her. She hits the deck. Just takes a second to collect herself there. And talking to Lee Davey before the game, he was saying how one of the only ways they're going to be able to stay in this one is if they make it a physical and more of a scrappy game. And already, we've seen, 2 or 3 trips down the floor here. Every single time somebody's hit the deck or there's been a charge, or so I think that's probably something that's resonated in the locker room at halftime. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Lee's had for a number of years smaller rotations than we've seen from other teams in the league, and when it's come down to crunch time in a lot of seasons, we've seen Durham pull out some big wins, playing this aggressive, trappy style pressure that we've got here again tonight, and he does. He gets his players on board with that, and you can see they're out there not leaving anything to chance and going after everything.
Shauna Harrison will go 2 for 2 from the line. That bumps her up to 8 points. Fernandez on the kick out to Brault. That goes off the hands of Brault, so possession back to the Hatters.
Yeah, just couldn't keep control of it there. She was being aggressive, trying to turn that corner and get to the rim.
Harrison to Crisper. Crisper hands off to Gandini. Over to Harrison. She looks inside to Singleton. Nice pass to Crisper. Beautiful
Great
little finish inside.
Yeah. And again, that little bit more patience offensively from Hatters. That rotation, looking to get the ball in. Woods there taking nearly 3, unable to convert. And we've got Gandini doing the same at the other end.
Harrison, great rebound inside to Singleton. Again, physical play, not able to finish. frustrated with herself on that one.
Yeah, but you'll see that two players on her straight away, and then the third coming in to ensure that she didn't get the clean rebound. They certainly aren't trying to let them have anything easy on the glass.
Harrison at the top, over to Gandini. Georgia Gale will let that fly. Georgia Gale knocks down her first 3 and first points of the evening. Nice shot from her in the corner.
Yeah, you can pretty much always rely on her to get at least one of those a game.
Liza Brault will take it for Durham. She's blocked by Singleton. Crisper out on the break. Kicks it out to Gandini. Wide open 3 for her. She knocks it down. That's her 4th 3 of the evening. Bumps her up to leading scorer, 14 points personal, leading all scorers in the game. And a quick timeout here from Durham. We saw, Durham came out scrappy on the defensive end, but just 0 points so far in this quarter, so just still not able to find that offensive production they need to chip away at this lead.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's looking too big to return from for Durham, so really sensibly used timeout here. Will be interesting to see what they can come up with back out on the floor, because you can't say they aren't trying a bit of everything. Though it looks like they've got a little bit of live replay in the timeout here to talk over some things as a team.
Well, it's always going to be an uphill battle. Players like Sophie Klassen, Charlotte Redhead, Katie Bennett, Harriet, Will Soulsby, all out for Durham. So extremely short-handed bench. But they put up a great fight in that first quarter, but now it's about finding a way to chip away at that lead. Fatigue could definitely be an issue for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see Wells coming back on here with had a little bit more physicality, but without hopefully picking up fourth. But now he's got 3 players on 3 fouls at this point in the world game as well. So looking to maintain. Gandini there with a steal, giving them a little bit of pressure back, and Harrison converting for 2.
Beautiful steal there from Emma Gandini, putting on that full court press. Fernandez kicks it to Wells for Durham. Wells driving inside, looking to find a teammate. It's knocked out of bounds by Gale. Durham will keep the ball. 13 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about it in here tonight, but Essex have just gone on a 14-2 run against Newcastle to lead 44-37. So but before half time there, so all still to play for in that matchup.
Lucas steps through, not able to finish. Great defense from the Hatters. Crisper on the break. Beautiful take from them, and there's that fast-paced, high-tempo basketball that we were used to seeing from this Hatter squad.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, Durham starting to fatigue a little bit, giving it everything, but once they lose possession there, struggling to get out and keep pace with Hatters.
Georgia Gale will go down on the baseline. Not exactly sure what happened on the play there. Looked like she was grabbing either her hand or her wrist or potentially her stomach, but
yeah, I'm not sure if it's wrist or stomach that she's had a little bit too much contact there on.
She's down as they give her a little bit of breathing room. Georgia with 3 points personal on the night.
Make some more noise for Georgia Gale.
Trying to get an update on that, find out what happened there, but
she's a warrior. We'll see her back on the court in a minute's time. Hopefully.
Inbounded to Brault for Durham. Brault takes her time inside, not able to finish.
But
hand on
straight
the
back on the floor to get her own rebound and get a team a second look there.
Shauna Harrison on the break. Finds Gandini. Gandini over to Walker. They look inside to Crisper. Kicks it out to the wing. Harrison not able to convert. Singleton pulls the rebound down. She's triple teamed inside. Still finds a way to get the job done.
Yeah, he just takes the time there, gathers herself and realises there might be 3 of you, but I've still got a foot.
Fernandez called on the travel on the wing.
And they're the unforced turnovers that Durham can't afford to make, really.
Crisper will take a quick break. Collier back into the game. As Walker holds on to possession here. She brings it over half. We're going to get in some set offense here. Harrison hands it back off to Walker. Screen from Collier. Shauna wide open at the top. She'll get it on the curl. Just seeing if it's going to be a shooting foul or on the floor here. But foul called on number 5, Eliza Brault. That will be her 4th foul. And you see, you look up at the board, Lucas on 3, Wells on 3, Brault on 4. Key players mounting up a lot of fouls.
Yeah, and with 15 minutes to go, only afford one of them to foul out. So, and this is where Hatters will get to capitalise even more, because their defence will have to take a little step back, be a little less intense, a little less physical, which is exactly what they've come out here and tried to do tonight.
Go at speed.
Lucas brings the ball up. Chukwuitu kicks it inside for Fernandez. Back out to Wells. She'll try a 3. It won't go. Gandini brings down the rebound. Gandini looking to get into a set. She'll swing it to Harrison. High screen and roll at the top. Great pass inside to Singleton. Beautiful finish inside for Singleton. That bumps her up to 15 points personal and 8 rebounds. So she's tickling a double-double herself. And again, another unforced turnover from Durham. Just a little not clicking, not on the same page on that possession. But like you said, they can't afford any of those if they're looking to keep themselves in this one. It's big, tall order for them right now, but you've got to keep trying to get the momentum back in their favor.
Spending a lot of time working on defence at the minute at Durham, and as we've said, a lot of them are in foul trouble. Harrison in the corner there.
Harrison, pressure in there. Not sure where the foul is called here. Collier and Wells are called to the center here from the referee. He's telling them to calm things down.
Yeah,
getting a bit heated out there.
A little too much contact there in the middle of the court as they're running back on defence. Neither of which wanted to let the other one.
It's playoff time, Naomi, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're not going to play out there with a little bit of heart and passion.
Chippy out here. Nobody wants to go home yet.
No, certainly not. And well handled there by the refs, because they could have easily called a double foul, but recognising better game management from them. Rare compliment I'll give to the refs in terms of Wells would have been on a 4th foul.
Oh, can I get my hands on this? No. Almost came to me. I would have got a shot up there. 0 for 1 on the night.
Right. Get you on that stat sheet.
Yeah. Harrison will have to throw up the buzzer beater. It won't go. Timeout called to Sheffield, I believe.
Yeah, Coach Ellis probably just wanted to calm things down a little bit, because although we have got a little bit chippy here, the Hatters don't need to at the minute. They've got a comfortable lead. They need to focus on their type of basketball, really. We've had Singleton go out to 15 points. Obviously, we saw Gandini put 14 up, 4 of which have been from behind the arc. And then, ultimately, Durham is still struggling to get points on the board. You see people like Fernandez, who normally are a big threat for them, and offensively, only with 3 points here tonight. And they're going to need to start putting some more points on the board this quarter.
Yeah, I mean, another Shanique Lucas, obviously 17 points a game. She's currently only on 4. So I think the biggest thing for Durham is just trying to find some sort of rhythm on the offensive end, whether that's, in a transition situation. But I think, with your short-handed bench and your fatigue setting in, you got to start looking at running some sets instead of just getting quick shots on the offense.
Yeah,
those can be so deflating when you miss those shots early. So.
Well, it is. We look 5.5 minutes into this quarter, and they've not yet put any points on the board. So that's definitely something Durham are going to just need to get themselves a good look at the rim, cause Hatters to foul them.
23 points in this quarter for the Hatters. Durham still looking to break the ice in the second half here. As Wells comes down, kicks it out. Chukwuitu, another kick out to Lucas. She'll kick it out one more time to Wells. Big shot from Sarah Wells.
Like they were listening to us. That's the first point this quarter there, but that much needed.
Oh, great job of being unselfish, moving the ball, driving kick here as Durham will create a turnover, ball back into their possession. But, for Coach Lee Davey, you got to be happy coming out of a timeout situation. That play was great, just finally breaking the ice, getting a wide open shot for Wells.
Yeah, and then forced Hatters into another turnover there and got an offensive possession back. And that's what we weren't seeing. We were seeing Durham play a lot of defence, and there we go. And now they've driven and drawn a foul.
Shanique Lucas will head over to the line there. Good aggressive take from her, trying to get her offensive motor going. And obviously 40-point lead here. 39-point lead here for the Hatters. But it's the playoffs. It's win or go home, so you got to keep trying to chip away if you're Durham. If you're Hatters, not trying to not get complacent and also keep your, steel, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. You want to keep yourself ready and build that momentum for the next round.
Yeah, as we said, I think both teams in playoff basketball want to go out and put on a good performance, because either it's leading you into your next game or perhaps in Durham's case, if it continues to go the way we expect it to go, you want to make sure you finish your season on a real high as your last one before you take a little break.
Chukwuitu, it won't go. Durham will maintain possession here. Still 10 seconds left on the clock. As Fernandez takes it out of bounds. Fernandez struggling to find somebody, and that's a 5-second call right there. Just not able to execute on the baseline out of bounds play.
Yeah, but again, that's where actually they're having to play a little bit smart. They're not throwing it in and giving Hatters a turnover. Just waited and said, actually, 5-second call with us set up defensively is probably the better option. Great pass there from Walker to find Collier.
Hatters not giving up on the boards. Sarah Wells, great job from her, not giving that one away. Foul will be called on Maddie Washington. That's her first.
Yeah, Durham not going down lightly here.
Quick warning from the ref. Not sure if that was to Vanessa Ellis, the head coach, or if that was to Maddie Washington. It looks like it might have been to Vanessa.
Yeah, I think it was, but I think Russell was owning up there. So whatever comment was made, I think she was claiming it was her who said it.
Sarah Wells kicks it out to Wood. Wood with the 3, not able to go. Big rebound from Sadie Russell. She'll bring it up. Overhead pass, and Wells, Collier colliding there. Sarah Wells, that will be her 4th. So, again, begs the question, only in the third quarter here, the bench is slim. Do you take Sarah out, or do you just let it ride?
I wouldn't be surprised if Brault does come back on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got Brault's on 4 as well, so. To see.
And I was just about to make the comment, I think Brault's probably got a little calmer head on him at the minute, not to pick up a 5th foul, but there we see Wells fouling out. So now Durham are going to be playing the remaining 12 and a half minutes. This is ball game with the 5 players out on the floor.
Obviously, if you're Durham, that's not what you want to see. Very frustrating. We had a similar situation in the men's league 2 weeks ago, where the 4th quarter ended up with 4 Newcastle players having to finish out the quarter for about 5 minutes. So hoping not to see that here. Brault will have to play extremely safe and smart for the last 12 and a half minutes of this one.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard because, as we said, that's not Durham's style of basketball. They've come out here being aggressive at both ends of the floor, so they do put themselves at risk of getting those fouls, but we'll see what this game has to offer for the last 12 minutes here tonight.
Russell back to Walker. Walker kicks it up to Black. Black to Russell. Collier inside the paint. She'll take a strong take inside off the glass. It looks good.
And there you see Brault was the help defender there, and ultimately she knew she just had to stand and give Collier that easy lane.
Chukwuito will try her hand inside. Maddie Washington called on the hold. That's Maddie Washington's 2nd of the evening. The Durham ball out of bounds. They had a 5-second call last time round, so they'll be looking a little bit better execution on this play here.
Yeah, they got the look that they were trying to find the option
Lucas
there.
Inside, yeah, almost got her there, a little bit late. Looks like they're setting up the same way again. Backdoor screen for Lucas, and then screen the screener for Wood. Back out to Lucas at the top, so she'll take the drive. Lucas here inside, good kick out. As Maddie Washington takes the charge, and she lets everybody know about it.
Yeah, after a couple of reaching fouls, she said, "What am I doing putting my hands in? Let me put my body on the line instead."
Both teams now in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Minute 35 left here to go at the Cannon Medical Arena. So we're in the SLB playoff quarterfinals. Sadie Russell lighted up one up for 3. It won't go. Eliza Brault will bring it up for Durham. Just got a little bit away from her. She saves it inside to Lucas. Lucas did a great job of keeping it in possession there, and picked up a foul. Destiny Walker will pick up the foul on that one. And like I said, both teams in the bonus, so she'll head to the line here. Another opportunity to put some points on the board for Durham, but also just get a quick rest, as Sarah Wells fouled out earlier this quarter, and Durham is literally on a 5-man rotation at the moment.
Yeah, of which I think another 3 of them are on 4 fouls. 2 of them.
So they'll have to play the rest of this game extremely safe, or else we'll be seeing some 5v3, 5v2 basketball. Another turnover there from the Hatters. Lucas almost turned it over, keeps a hold of it. Fernandez on the wing, kicks it back up to Lucas. 14 seconds on the clock. Lucas hands it off to Brault. Brault, big drive down the middle. It's a charge. That will be foul number 5 on Eliza Brault. She'll have to sub out of the game. So an extreme situation here where Durham is left with 4 players unfortunate for them, as we've seen them line up on defense, it looks like they're just going to line up in a box 2-2 defense.
Yeah, not a lot of options here, unfortunately, and that's what we were saying. It's hard. You can be as sensible as you like defensively, but the way they're playing aggressively, going to the rim, picking up a couple of offensive fouls there, it's not a way to ever go out of a ball game, unfortunately.
Destiny Walker will finish inside as Durham holds down that diamond-style defense. And then on offense, they're just going to look to try and keep moving it, find an open option. Lucas comes alive. Big shot from the top from her.
Yeah, and this is where Hatters have got to play smarter. I mean, I'm sure they'll talk about it at the end of this quarter, but
Sadie Russell not able to convert on that last one there.
yeah, but you'd like to think they're more experienced than that. They've got 5 versus 4. The last 2 plays there, they took perimeter shots and then let Durham get an open look when there's an extra body on the floor. So I'm sure Coach Ellis is going to do a little bit of talking over here as we go into the 4th quarter about how to play against 4 players, which is probably not a timeout she's normally prepped for.
Well, Hatters taking away with this one. They will play, if Newcastle beat Essex tonight, they will play Newcastle. That game is 44-46 in favor of the Essex Rebels. If Newcastle doesn't win, then the Hatters will play the winner of Caledonia versus Manchester, which is being played at the Play Sport Arena up in East Kilbride tomorrow at 4 p.m. So interesting here. Obviously, Durham have come into this game extremely short-handed. They're going to have to finish out the game with 4 players on the court. We've seen this before, but I don't know if we've ever seen this where it's happened all the way into the 3rd quarter. This is a big chunk of the game where you only have to play with 4 players, you know, compared to a Hatters team that's already has depth, size. They're quite undersized compared to them as well. So, I mean, if you're a Hatters fan, you're happy because, you know, it's pretty much an automatic bid into the next round of the playoffs. But for our viewers at home, not the most exciting game to be tuning into.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be a different style of play, I would imagine, for this last quarter that we'll see out there on the floor. But, I mean, if we were to see any team in the league have to play with 4 players, Durham, this group of girls are a group you'd want to watch do it because they still aren't going to give up. You can see them there. They've got themselves together as a 4, talking things over, making a little bit of a plan, but ultimately sticking together, and that's great to see for what could potentially, or looking likely to be their last game of the season as a unit.
Shanique Lucas, 17 points per game. Marina Fernandez, 11 points per game, leads the team in assists, 4.2. Isabel Wood, 3.8 points per game, but contributing tonight. And Lucas, great little take behind the back there, not able to finish. Walker with the rebound, she'll bring it up. Walker inside, it's deflected. Ball will be back into Durham's hands. A little bit of confusion there. Referees talking it over. Ball back into Durham's hands. Durham will inbound it. And again, how do you attack this when you're playing 4v5?
Yeah, I mean, that help defense is always there, unfortunately. So I suspect we'll see more of that, taking the perimeter looks when they get them.
Harrison kicks it up to Walker, back to Harrison, inside to Washington. Washington takes her time, little fadeaway, patented spinning fadeaway move from her.
Yeah, and good choice there. I mean, she had Gandini open on the 3-point line, but recognising that with 5 against 4, we don't need to be settling for perimeter looks necessarily.
Isabel Wood. Still Wood.
Wood hands off to Fernandez, 3 seconds on the clock. She's gonna have to let it chuck it up. doesn't go. Shot clock violation called. They'll be taken out on the sideline. Hatters here, just under 9 minutes to go. If you're just tuning in, Durham's 2 of their key players fouled out. They were already on a 6-man rotation, so they're going to have to finish the game with 4. Hatters looking like they're going to advance to the semifinals. Great take inside there from Collier. Fernandez hands it off to Lucas. Lucas try another 3. It won't go. It's not, and I mean, if you're the Hatters here, it's not much of a challenge, but it's still an opportunity to work and stay sharp, isn't it?
Yeah, I think decision making is going to be something they're going to look at, and that extra pass to find the open player, which we see there to get a look at the rim for Washington.
Good opportunity here for Maddie Washington to get back, play some bigger minutes and get her rhythm going again. Obviously out for so long with that injury. She's kind of been back on limited minutes.
Yeah, definitely. In game time's the only way to do that. You can practice all you want, but you know what it's like, game fitness. You need to be out there.
Well, I don't know. I'm retired now, so I'm forgetting what it's like. Hatters inbound it. Durham sitting in this diamond zone defense. Good hands from Lucas. Harrison comes down with it. And again, Maddie Washington inside. That one bumps her up to 11, hitting double figures. 4 Hatters players now in double figures. As Lucas comes off the stagger screen. Back out to Fernandez. Fernandez, nice little pullback dribble. It won't go. Maddie Washington, another rebound.
Yeah, Fernandez just struggled to convert a little bit tonight. I talked about it early on about her ability to pull up off the dribble in the paint there, and Gandini just overthinking that one a little bit. Obviously surprised, she's so wide open, but they are going to find themselves in that situation.
Timeout called from Durham. 79-33 for the Hatters. And the Essex Rebels are taking off up in Newcastle, 51-44. If Essex wins, it will force the Hatters to not know the outcome of their semifinal until tomorrow. If Essex win. If Newcastle wins, they'll play Newcastle. If not, they'll play the winner of Caledonia Manchester. A bit of a unique situation here. Durham, a lot of injuries coming up into this game. Short-handed, only on a 6-man rotation. They've had 2 players foul out. So they're having to finish out the game with 4 players. And although the score doesn't say it, but you have to take your hat off to them. They are playing with their heart on their sleeve and giving it their all.
Yeah, they've had lots of opportunities to kind of take off that full court pressure and things, but we've seen it a little bit now. They're down to four players, but they weren't trying to go away, and they're wanting to make sure they continue to play their style of basketball out there. So we'll see how they manage to finish off with this ball game. Hopefully converting on some of their looks, because they are still getting shots up. I know we've had a couple of 24-second violations, but Lucas in particular has fouled from perimeter looks that just haven't dropped.
Well, back into action here at the Cannon Medical Arena. Lucas brought the ball up. Gandini, good deflection out of bounds. Ball will remain in Durham's possession. Naomi, you've got to pick our MVP tonight. Anybody sticking out to you so far?
I mean, I think Gandini's played really well. She's been relentless defensively. She obviously has been very effective from the three-point line. Singleton's done what she normally does in terms of getting the boards and converting on the glass, but there's a long way to go, and Washington's out here getting assists and putting some points on the board. Things could still change.
Lots of time left to play in this one. As Lucas brings it up, pop shot down the middle, it won't go. Chukwuitu, great rebounds, keeps possession for Durham. Fernandez in the corner, 7 seconds on the clock. Off the foot of Washington. So we see some fresh blood come in for the Hatters. Singleton, Crisper, and Black all back in for the Hatters.
Yeah,
5 seconds left on the clock here, baseline possession. Quick kick to the corner. Found the defense falling asleep, and Isabel Wood. Big shot from her. That's her first points of the evening.
Yeah, and that's what Hatters can't do. Strange situation from out there on the floor, but you still got to have your defensive matchup. So I'm guessing it's Singleton without a player. Yeah, there we see her under the basket, ready to play help defense.
Lucas inside, she'll kick it. Chukwuitu, 5 seconds left. Gandini, great job from Gandini.
Yeah, their work rate, trying to get a hand on that so that Fernandez can't get an easy look on that kick out.
Emma Gandini leads the Hatters in steals, just under 3 a game, as Lucas doesn't get that one to go. Zaya Black will bring it up, kicks it over to Harrison, back inside to Singleton. Nice little pop shot from Singleton.
This is where we might see Singleton pull away in terms of scoring here in the game, same as we just saw Washington getting lots of looks at the rim. Singleton's got the beauty of being able to have a bit of a breather on defense.
If I was on the floor, that's the position I'd want to play.
Yeah, let me stand here, do a little bit of talking from behind.
I got you guys. Help, help.
And then have a nice little trail and pull-up jump shot at the other end.
That's it.
And then repeat.
Yeah, close to the basket, get a couple more rebounds, try to hit a double-double. Lucas kicks it out to Fernandez. Big shot from her. And Durham are still trying to chip away at it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. If they started to convert on some of those looks, but that's where they're going to struggle. They just can't contain with an extra body defensively.
Fernandez pressured at the top. She'll kick it to Lucas. Lucas trying to find a way to turn the corner. Not able to find the basket on that one. Gandini will push it up for the Hatters. Gandini to Crisper. Back up to Gandini. Wide open three. Not able to drop. Wood will come down with the rebound. Over to Fernandez. Gandini a little bit too physical on that one. She'll be called for the foul. Her first of the night. Sorry, second of the night. 6 players now on the Hatters in double figures. Great balanced scoring from them.
Maybe we should have a team MVP tonight.
Just everybody? Just
yeah.
Everybody in.
Save me a job.
Russell into Singleton. She steps through. Not able to get that one to drop. Fernandez out on the break. Swings it to Wood. Wood will shoot the three. Another rebound for Singleton. That bumps Singleton up to a double-double. Zaya Black inside to Crisper. Big finish inside from them.
I was going to say, Crisper's been her usual efficient self out there tonight again.
Fernandez. Over to Chukwuitu. Lucas on the wing. Good step back. A little bit short. Gets her own rebound. Kicks out to Wood. Wood, another three. It won't go. Emma Gandini pushes the break. Gandini to Crisper. Another one inside for Crisper. That bumps Crisper up to 13 points personal. Sorry, 15 points personal. As Fernandez shoots the three at the top. Just bounces in and out. Great job from Lucas keeping it alive. Black, good steal. She dishes it off. Crisper won't make it. Singleton back to Black. Oh, just runs out for Black. Singleton, she'll get fouled.
I think she's just trying to get a few more rebounds on the stats there.
She's already hit a double-double. I think she's got 12 rebounds on the night.
Shout out to Emma's family over from Australia.
Quick look up in Newcastle. The Rebels are leading 59-54 with 3 minutes left in the third. So we might have to wait until tomorrow to find out who the next round opponent is for the Hatters.
Yeah, I'm sure that one will go right down to the wire. Again, they're two teams that have got great experience at playoff basketball, and some of those players have played for those squads for a number of years now. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Well, 89-39 here in Sheffield for the Hatters. 5v4 basketball.
I wasn't expecting that tonight.
No, we weren't, but obviously some teams don't have the luxury of a big bench. Durham came up here, a lot of injuries for them. Talking to Coach Lee Davey before the game, saying how proud he was of his team for all the things that they've been through, and one of those things is obviously injuries. They've had so much up and down with injuries this season. So.
Yeah, I mean, Otwell Salisbury in particular is a huge miss for them. Her presence on the glass and the number of points she puts up, she's a regular for a double-double for them. And as we've seen they are definitely the shorter of the two sides out there tonight, struggling with the likes of Singleton and Washington.
Singleton will miss her first free throw.
And this is where it'll be good for Hatters as well, because right now they have won the ball game. They don't need to concentrate and things like that. But ultimately, we know that missed free throw that there from Singleton could be the difference maker in a closer game at this point in the stretch. So being disciplined defensively, offensively, and keeping your head in the game is really important here for them. And we see there, no prisoners there from Collier.
Collier out to Black, inside the Crisper. Hatters team not able to find the basket. Nigel Collier able to get the rebound, put it back. Lucas brings it up.
Yeah, she knew after she'd missed that first one, she wanted it back again. I think she even took her own player out a little bit there to get that rebound. Crisper there clearing up the glass on that one, bringing it down.
Collier not able to find the bottom of the basket on the three. Good rebound from Singleton. Out to Zaya Black. Not able to finish that one. Another one. Black inside to Singleton.
3 seconds.
3 seconds in the key.
Singleton just camping out, getting a little bit comfortable there, waiting for the ball, knowing she's going to have a mismatch.
1 minute left in this one. I'm sure some of those Durham players would be happy to see that final buzzer ring. Some of them have had to play big minutes this game.
Wood.
Wood with her second three of the night, bumps her up to 6 points.
Yeah, and Hatters don't seem to have adjusted really to her. She's been taking every look she's been getting on the perimeter down the stretch, and yet she's still been getting the opportunity to put it up there.
Nice shot from Black. Puts her on the scoreboard with 2 points. Good handoff here to Wood. Wood will try and get the three off. Great defense from Sadie Russell. 20 seconds left in the game, 3 on the clock.
And then great D there from Black.
He tries to save it. It'll go off the back of the backboard, so that's out of bounds. 11 seconds on the clock here, 94-42.
Yeah, I
Hatters.
suspect we'll see Durham dribble it out here once they get it over the half.
Oh, and rightfully so. They've
Put your hands
1,
together.
2, 3, 4 of their players playing over 35 minutes in that one.
Hatters are in the
And your Hatters are on to the semifinals of the SLB playoffs. And after a slow start from the Hatters, they really took control of the game in that second quarter.
Yeah, they'll be much happier with how they played after that initial first quarter, where perhaps they weren't, like I said, they were letting Durham dictate a little bit, and there was no need to, because that's how every team's going to come out in playoffs. So really important. I mean, big game as we've seen many a time in here, this arena, from Ty Singleton with 18 points and 14 rebounds. So I suspect that might be where the MVP award is going tonight.
I think so. Huge game from Singleton. 18 points, 14 rebounds. As we're shaking all these hands here of the girls advancing.
But yeah, as we spoke about earlier, it was definitely a team effort, as we expect from Hatters out there, and lots of players contributing at both ends of the floor, doing what was needed out there tonight in order to advance. And I'm sure they'll be looking at things like the early turnovers in the first quarter, things that in other games ultimately could see them punished more heavily than Durham have been able to here tonight.
Your girls played on a lot of teams. You know, a lot of successful teams. How far does this team? How far do you think they can go? And do they remind you of any of the teams that you've been on in the past?
I mean, they have the opportunity to go all the way. I think the great thing about them is they play Hatter-style basketball. When they get into their groove of it, they're very unselfish. They're all about the defensive effort, getting out, running, working together as a team, and finding that open player. I think, again, there's some experience on there, which is always an advantage when you're getting into playoff basketball, because ultimately, as we've seen for example, in the Newcastle-Essex game, there'll be runs and different highs and lows throughout a basketball game, but sticking together and focusing on what you're doing as a team is the most important thing. So I think they've got the potential to go all the way, and I certainly know if it does come down to them reaching the final again, potentially with Oakland, that they'll certainly want to go out and give a better performance than they did in the cup final. I know, having spoken to some of the players, they were disappointed on that big stage that they didn't perhaps show people what Hatters are made of this season. So yeah, this playoff run is definitely an opportunity for them to do that. And tonight, pretty difficult game in a lot of ways for them, having to play that last quarter against 4. That's not necessarily the kind of preparation you want going into semi-finals and things like that, but I'm sure they'll be working hard, and like I said, talking about those early turnovers and what they need to do to make sure they don't let physicality knock them out of the groove, because that's what we saw here tonight, and it's what we saw in the cup final earlier in the season, and there's no reason for that. These ladies can be physical too. We've seen it down the stretch, diving on those loose balls and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited for the next few weeks, really, and hopefully we'll see a Hatters team at the O2.
Hopefully. Well, great effort there from the Hatters. MVP Taya Singleton, you've got to take your hats off. Commiserations to the Durham Palatinates. Fantastic effort from them. Obviously shorthanded for the rest of the way, but Hatters will advance onto the semifinals. We will not know the outcome until the end of the Newcastle and Essex game, which tipped off at 7:30 tonight. Currently, Rebels up by 2 heading into the fourth quarter. But that is all she wrote here in Sheffield. Keep an eye out for the next game announcement, which will be at the Cannon Medical Arena next weekend, but we won't know that until the outcome of that Newcastle game or potentially tomorrow. So keep an eye out on Hatters socials for that. I've been Mike Tuck. Naomi Campbell, thank you for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
And we will see you guys soon. Cheers.
Thanks.